Welcome back to Daytime Ottawa here on Rogers TV, putting smiles on people's faces. I mean, we love to do that on this show, and my next guest has done such a wonderful job of that over the last few years. It's a great inspirational story. I'm joined by Micheal, the designer, owner and floral designer over at Wflowers. Welcome. Great to have you back, Micheal.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I love the Micheal, the designer, because look at this guy. Look at this guy. I mean, you look like a designer.
Like I said, I had to dress for the part.
I love it. Let's talk about Wflowers first of all. Tell everybody at home a little bit about your history.
The history of it, I've been doing this for almost 30 years and more. I'll just say that. and the fact that I was pulling away because I went to a treatment center for drugs and alcohol.
Okay.
And that was over 10 years ago. So I was backing away from doing all of this. And then I just missed it too much. So
really,
I came back and I bought a store.
Nice, good for you. So what did you love about this industry?
It was the people. It was a connection with people. It's an actual physical emotion.
Yeah.
So the scent, all the receiving of it, I'm that driver in the middle for that emotion. So when you're buying flowers for your wife, I get to create that emotion. So when you give that emotion to her, letting her know how much you love her, I'm that guy in the middle.
Well, and it must just feel so good, right?
It's always a good feeling. Whether it's birth or death, it's the same at the end, because even in grieving, I'm there to relieve some of that grief.
Right.
I was also a social worker in my previous life, so I do use some of that too. I've got empathy, and I'm able to listen to them. And
nice.
So
and you love to give back, and that was the idea behind the Christmas Smiles campaign. Tell me how this came to you.
It all came about because we already help people with addictions. We already help people with mental health issues, and it's all tied together. And then we also do a lot for the homeless.
Okay.
So coming with the COVID, what happens is that we, as floral designers, we take what we do for the weddings, we take that money and we store it for those slower times during the holidays, after the holidays, kind of quiet before Valentine's Day.
Okay.
But with COVID, I didn't have that.
Right.
I mean, I was doing deliveries, but I was just literally paying the rent. So I was like, how am I going to pay the rent in January? So I went home and I was thinking about this. How could I do this? And the only thing that came to mind was my mom. My mom always said, when you have your own troubles, turn around and help somebody else. Your troubles will be taken care of. And that's exactly in the morning, having my coffee after that evening. And don't I see that little old lady with her two hands in the window, and she doesn't know what's happening in the world, and only seeing these nurses dressed in blue, those blue nightgowns with the big facial mask.
You're talking about at a retirement home.
Retirement homes. And
this.
I said, that's how I'm going to help, and that's how I'm going to keep my shop afloat. So it was a dual.
Right.
So, and that's how it all began.
So that's the beginning, and so then the initiative and the idea is what exactly?
Well, the idea was to go back to my clientele, ask them for their help, seeing if they'll sponsor a senior. And it was with these. So making a centerpiece, these people that are in retirement today were the people that were buying the homes. They were buying the centerpieces for their homes at the holidays.
Right.
They're now in retirement. So why not continue that? They gave to us all those years, so why don't we give one back to them and letting them know that they're not alone.
Yeah, yeah. Because the holidays are difficult. I mean, we do this on this show, right? We talk about celebrating the holidays. Yeah. Oftentimes we forget there are many people that live in isolation, that don't necessarily have somebody to celebrate the holidays with. And this is something that can really
it just lets them know, wow, like somebody's actually thinking of me. Yeah. And at the beginning, we'd never put on the little card.
Okay.
We just say, you know, it's from someone, like it was random. It was just, but then they kept asking the nursing staff, who's it from? Is it from my daughter? Is it from my cousin? Is it from my aunt? You know, or whoever it was. And they didn't know how to answer them. So we start putting on the family name or the business name in whom they're coming from. Like the Properties Group donated $500 yesterday.
Nice.
Towards that.
Thank you, Properties Group.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
absolutely. That's my landlord. That's my landlord.
Oh, really? Oh, nice.
So that's
Excellent.
who I lease from. And so they get actually 10 of these with the Properties Group season greeting.
So it's my understanding you've selected 5 homes. Is that right this season?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's Ravines, there's City View.
Okay.
There's correct me if I don't get them all.
It doesn't matter if you
Sterling
if you
Park.
don't.
There's one of my favorites is Starwood. Starwood is actually a nursing home.
Okay.
So that's one of the top ones, and then.
Well, now that we've convinced people to help, tell them how they can help.
Well, so my phone line is open. My phone line, so at 613-224-0240. You can also email me at sales@wflowersottawa.com. We'll take your order, and then if you can come in even at 1556 Merivale Road, you can also do so and come right in. We take credit card, debit, cash, anything you can give. They're $50 a centerpiece. You can, if you're a business, you can use it as a donation.
Yeah, of course.
So, of course, get right.
Around this time of year, you must be extremely busy. What do you usually work on? I mean, this is obviously an example, but what sort of floral arrangements do you see around the holiday season, around Christmas?
A lot of centerpieces. Right now, what we're doing is we're doing the outdoor urns. We're getting ready with the outdoor stuff. So yesterday, I went to a farm just past North Gower, close to Smith Falls, and got loads and loads of greenery in my van.
Nice.
So it's kind of that thing. So it's starting. And then the bouquets, and my cooler's transforming. It's turning into reds and whites and pinks and fuchsia and all those colors from Christmas. And so that's...
Well, and it really does, it adds a wow factor, as you said, as people come up to the house, what's the first thing that they see, right? That front door, and you beautify it. And then, of course, you can get a beautiful centerpiece for the holidays as well by visiting you. Michael, I know you don't do this without volunteers as well, so just a hats off to all the volunteers that help you.
Thank you so much for them.
And do some deliveries.
God bless them.
thanks to you. Really appreciate your time again today. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. We'll be right back.